in my brief tenure in the State House, which I have seen balkanize the state, quite like transportation. And I know that the gentleman who last spoke has heard many of the same comments that I have heard in the 48 communities that I represent in Western Massachusetts. And I want to associate myself with the comments made by the chair of the Transportation Committee in believing that before we talk about the revenue we need for a system, we need to show the taxpayers of the Commonwealth what the system looks like, show them where the savings are, and then talk about what the needs are moving forward. Yes, there are deficits. We do not know how much of those deficits when it comes to deferred maintenance can be made up by delivering transportation services in a more efficient and effective manner. But there are also unintended consequences of moving with revenue before reform. In the 48 communities that I represent, only 11 of them have fixed route public transit services. Depending on what we do for regional transit authorities in this budget, among those 11 communities, they will only have public transit services Monday through Friday. We have never had public transit services on Sunday in those 11 communities. And only on Saturday we have been able to do partial services along with partial paratransit services for the disabled and those who rely so much on public transit to get from where they live to where they may buy their groceries, to where they may meet with friends and family. So there are many unintended consequences of going down the revenue road first. I do not deny that we will have to go there at some point, and I will happily take part in that debate. But I do think that to build the public's trust and the confidence in what has for too long been a bifurcated and broken system, we need to do everything we can to make that system the most efficient and effective possible. And I will close with one short story. I was at Williams College just the past week, meeting with someone who works in their heating plant. That individual had worked as a steelmaker in the boiler room at the Midwest-Vaco paper plant. The Midwest-Vaco plant closed 3 months after I was elected. It closed because of rising energy costs, especially on our commercial and industrial users in Western Massachusetts. That individual lives in Lee, in the southernmost part of my district. And thankfully, he was able to go and find a job in Williamstown, in the northernmost part of my district, at a fairly similar job that paid a good wage, provided good benefits, and allowed him to continue to stay in his home, allowed him to save a little bit for his son's retirement, allowed him to pay for his kids' braces and other costs associated with raising a family. After we went through that meeting that was on a variety of topics, that individual pulled me aside and said, I understand we may have to pay a little bit more this year. I understand that because I have individuals who rely on heating assistance. I understand that because I have friends whose homes are being foreclosed upon. I understand they need some help. But he said, please, before you go there when it comes to the gas tax, please make the system better. I know that there are efficiencies there. I think it will still be a tough sell with him, but as a sell I am willing to make only after we reform the system sufficiently. And I believe that thanks to the leadership of Chairman Baddour and of the Senate President, we will get there, and we will get there as a body. But I do not think that getting there now is the right thing to do, although I appreciate the sentiment of those who have offered these amendments and spoken so passionately in favor of them.